All right, you guys, for this last homework, I thought we'd do something a little bit different. Instead of watching me fumble creating all the columns and data from scratch for like 20, 25 minutes, I thought instead I would just pull one of the submissions from your classmates and we would just use that. One of them I found I didn't look at everybody's, but just one of them I found had all the right answers or close enough. And so I thought it might just be a little bit faster for us to go through that instead. So this is for homework 7. So the first question here says, using this data, find out the age of each individual at the start of the survey. And to do that, you need to create a new column called age. He's talking about rounding. And then you have to use the respondent's birthday and the date of the survey to find this information. So for number 1, we just need to figure out how old they were when they took the survey. And one of your classmates, I thought, did a really good job here. So we have the respondent ID, then we have broken down here month, day, year, and then the day they're interviewed, month, day, year, and then those were converted into 2 separate dates. See here, just by combining those 2, or those 3 items, and again by combining those 3 items, built a date. And then to figure out the age, the student did a date diff, where you just subtract those 2 and a y is per year. So just looking about how many years different they are. And so it looks pretty straightforward. Hopefully you guys all got something very similar to that. So just this column J here is what we need for number 1. Pretty fast. Okay, number 2. Compare that age data with this US Census data for individuals who are 20 years and older. Use the percentages from table 4 of this PDF as a reference point. You'll have to adjust these census percentages to only account for individuals who are 20 years or older. And it says to delete those numbers from the total population who are, I guess, under 20. Yep, and then, let's see. Okay, and then we got to put them into the 5-year groupings. So we're talking about this data here. Let me go download it really quick. Looking here at table 4, right here. So from 20 forward. Yep. So that's the data we're looking at. And then to show you what this student did, again, was really good. Just brought the ages over, ignored people who are under 20, only worried about people who are over 20. And then since half of those, or some of those were taken away, you got to recalculate, because this is only 71% of the population now. So you need to sort of rebalance it with just this remaining data, which is what was going on in this column. And then to put them into the bins, you just need to count how many of that column are between 20 and 24. That's going to give you the raw number. And then to give you the percentage, you just got to divide these 2 things here. Hopefully this makes sense. And so these are the answers right here for whatever question we're on. Yeah, and so there was 3,572 people who took the survey here. Yep. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, using the percentages of the US general population and the data set, run a chi-square test to see if the 2 groups have statistically similar ages. If you don't know how to run a chi-square test, there's a link. Anything under 0.05 is significant. So I'm going to jump forward here to this one. So this student had put these 2 groups together, saying here's the stuff from the 2020 census, or sorry, the 2000 census, and then here's the numbers that they got from the homework. And then they ran a chi-square test on it. You can see right here, chi-square test with this data. And got 0.00151. And that seems pretty significant. It's less than 0.05. So there might be a couple of flaws in here with some of this data. I didn't look through all of it specifically, but it looked fairly accurate to me. So as long as you have something in the general ballpark, something that looks like this and something that gets a similar result, less than 0.05, should be fine. Okay. Number 4, find out the proportion of individuals who are married or living with a partner for each of those age groups. Which group has the highest percentage? And again, the student made it nice and clear, which is why I chose this student's work to show. It's very easy. So took the age, put in the status here for it, and then for each of the age groups, counted how many were in that age. So that's from the previous problem. And then for the married or living with a partner, same thing, right? So we got each of the age groups, how many of those in that age group were married. And again, just did the counts here off those columns. You can see the formula was used here. And this is right. And that, or how many were living with a partner, same thing, but living with a partner. And then added those two things together. And then just found the percentage. Right, so you take the total who had done it, right? So 140 of the 382 20 to 24-year-olds are married or living with a partner, and that turns out to be about 36%. And then that was repeated for all these columns. And it looks like the 30 to 34-year-olds have the highest number, which makes sense, I guess. Let's see. Maybe this is when divorces start happening. That is actually pretty funny. Let's see. And then the last one. Determine the amount of time it took for each respondent to complete the survey. What is the correlation between age and response time? So this student calculated survey time. Here you can see. Sorry, let me pull the columns over so you can see it better. So we got the age and got the times, hours, minutes, AM, PM. Built that time. Got it here. Looks like it's converted in here to military time or 24-hour time. So we did that for the start and the end of taking the survey, and then the total, just subtracting those two, how long it took. So they started at noon, finished at 13:23. That took an hour 23, and that checks out. Again, started at 3:30, ended up at 4:45, so took an hour 15. Yep, so these are the survey times. And then just do a correlation between the times and the age, which is this formula here. So we have the age column, the survey time column, and it's 0.051. So slightly above 0.05, but close enough that you could say there's some significance, and it looks to be a positive correlation. Meaning, as the student says here, older individuals took more time to complete the survey. Hopefully that gives you a quick, brief look at this final assignment number 7. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email, and I will be grading the assignment real soon.